Hi everyone, I'm Monique with Open Gate Quilts, and today I'm going to show you the April 2022 subscription box. In the subscription box, it's all Dusted On, which is my latest fabric line, and it's a batik line through Maywood Studio. First thing I'm going to do is, like always, I'm going to show you the contents of the box. So let's get started. As always, when you open it up, we'll have the logo, and then you will open it, and I do always put in a letter. The letter explains what's in the box, as well as any pertinent information that you may need, as well as a link to this video. But you already have that because you're watching. So the first thing I'm going to show you is the main project, and this is called Sunset. It's a wall hanging, and it's made using all of Dusted On, like I told you. And as always, I put a picture in there so you can see what you're going to be making and the size of it and all the fabric. The instructions are on the back, and everything is included in here except for your backing. I also included the fusible webbing, so basically you can start it as soon as you get it. So this is the main project, and I'll hold it up for you so you can see the main project. This is Sunset, and one of the things that people do ask me is, how do you quilt the projects? Well, this one was a lot of fun to make to quilt because it has a lot of different things in it. So with the sun, what I did was a free motioned a swirl in here, so it looks kind of like a little bit like fire and swirls. I echo quilted around my reflections, and instead of appliquing the pieces first, then quilting it, I actually quilted this and appliqued at the same time, so it is held down by the quilting. And I'll show you the back too so you can kind of see that. And then in the water part, I did a wave. And then this was Mark's idea, which is a fabulous idea. He came up with doing a sun rays going out from the sunset, and it goes all the way out. And then in the borders, I did a star and moon stipple quilt. One of the unique things about this quilt, and it's not difficult, is that I put two different border pieces on here, so it frames it. So I chose the warmer colors to reflect the sun part, and then the cooler colors to reflect the water part. And basically all I did was I sewed these together, and I matched it up here and sewed the rest of the border on. So it's really not difficult. I did the same thing for the binding. When you do the binding, I do have photos on how to put this kind of binding on because it's got two different colors. I do have photos in your instructions. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you how to miter these corners very simply. You're going to love it. So it's really not a difficult pieced quilt, but it is very striking with the way the colors go. So this is your first main project, which is the Sunset quilt. The second project is called a Notions Roll-Up. And this, again, I used the Dusted On fabric. You either get a blue version, which has the blue ribbon and the blue stripe, as well as the blue inside. A few have purple, or you get the red pink version. And this one, again, is just got the pinks and reds in it. The thread color matches whatever Notion roll-up you have. So if you get the blue one, you get a blue thread. If you get the red one, you get a red thread so that you can use it to piece it. You can also use it on either one on your main project. This roll-up is very simple to make, but it's a great thing if you are going to a class, if you're traveling. You can also use it for makeup. You make your own size of pockets. So these pockets are different sizes. I did them what I basically did was I took my pieces and I put them in there, and then I drew lines so I knew what size to put them. I have room for my rotary cutter and my different pencils, and you can do as many or as little pockets as you want. So if you want to use it for makeup or for something like that, you can make it your own. So that is the small project, and you just roll it up and away you go. Tie it up, and you've got a nice little package to put in your bag when you are going to a class, or if you want something to take with you when you are somewhere for sewing. So this is perfect for that. So like I said, you either get the blue or the red version. Either one, you get matching thread to go with it. You're also included, this month is a fat quarter. The fat quarter is, again, Dusk to Dawn, and this is one of the fabrics in there. This is the wind swirl fabric with stars, but there's different fat quarters included. And then the final item in your box is a notion, and the notion is a seam ripper. And no, I don't expect you to rip this. It is a great tool. I put it in for two reasons. First of all, it's a nice seam ripper. It works really nice. It's sharp. And one of the things that I have found is that seam rippers do get dull. So if you're ripping and it's not really ripping your threads, you might need a new seam ripper. It's always nice to get a new one. It's nice and sharp. This one here is a really good high quality one. I really like it. And the second reason I like it is that I put it in here is that you can put it in your Notion roll up as one of your items. So that is the notion of the month. So that is our box for April 2022. And after this video, make sure that you watch, because I'm going to show you how to miter the corners on your project here. And it's a great thing for any kind of mitered corners. So we're going to do that next. And thank you for watching, and we'll see you next month. Quilt, bind, and enjoy. Bye. So now I'm going to show you how to make mitered corners on your quilts. It's really very simple, and actually once you learn how to do it, you're going to be like, I can do it on all my quilts. So the first thing that you're going to do is that when you sew this on, you're going to sew your pieces, and you're going to sew your border up to 1/4 inch and back stitch. You don't want to go past it. So I add my border on, and when I add my border on, I make sure that it is 1 inch or 2 longer, at least 1 inch or 2 longer than the other border. So you've got a little bit to work with. So as you can see here, I've got quite a bit extra. Let me move that so you can see a little better. You've got quite a bit extra on both. And this is important because you want to make sure you have room to play with. If it's just the right size, you might be off a little bit. So I always make sure I have a little bit extra. And then again, back to the back. You want to make sure when you sew it that you back stitch at the beginning and then when you come to the other side. And so you're going to back stitch, and they're going to meet at 1/4 inch. If you get to start putting your borders on, you start mitering and they're not quite met, I would go back and make sure that I am meeting, so you can even stitch a little bit more. When you do this, what you'll do is you're going to put those on, and you do that for all 4 sides. And as you notice, I only have 1/4, and that's all. I just want to show you one. You're going to need your ironing board and your iron, and then you're going to lay this on top of your ironing board here. And you're going to have it laid out just like this. Before you start, or even while you're doing this, you want to cut some 1/4 inch fusible interfacing. With the 1/4 inch fusible interfacing, you can get the 1/4 inch fusible tape. I just have a lot of fusible webbing, excuse me, it's not interfacing, it's webbing. I just have a lot of this, so I just cut strips. In your kit for the sunset, I have you cut the fusible before you actually do your applique, so these are all ready for when you're ready to put your borders on. So I lay this here. What I'll do is I'm going to lay this so one is this way, the other is this way. You're going to take the top one and you're going to pull it down so that it meets the other piece right here. And so I pull it at a 45-degree angle, and so it meets. So as you can see, I started to create my mitered corner. The reason you want this not to be all the way to the edge is that you can't pull that down when you have your seams too far into your 1/4 inch. Then what you'll do is, once you have it the way you want it, you're going to take and you're just going to press that. So the first thing that you want to do is press it. Then what you'll do is you're going to pull this down. You're going to take your fusible webbing and you're going to cut it to the length, and you're going to fuse it to the wrong side, or the back side of this border. You want to fuse it, let it cool a little bit so that the glue has a chance to adhere. Then you're going to take this off. Once you take that off, then you can put it right back. And if you need to adjust it a little bit, you can do that. So adjust it so it looks nice. You've got a good 45-degree angle, and then you're going to press it again and let it cool. What the fusible webbing does is it holds it in place. Once it's cooled off, I can pick it up, and it gives you a stitch line. So when you have this already down, you don't need to worry about pins or marking or anything. You've already got your stitch line. Everything is all ready. If I open it up and I can look here, I've got my fold, which is my stitch line. When I start, I like to start at this corner. I do back stitch and go all the way to the end, trim this to a 1/4 inch, and there you have a beautiful mitered corner. And that's how you do it. You do it for all 4 sides, and away you go. So that's how you make mitered corners, and it's really not as hard as you think. It's actually a lot of fun, and hope you enjoyed this, and we'll see you again. Quilt, Bind, and Enjoy. Bye.